Have you ever wondered what happens when you meditate? Keep listening to find out. Meditating. What is meditating? Honestly, when I was a kid, up until I began my really strong spiritual journey here, I thought meditating was just sitting still and being quiet. I didn't know there was anything else to it. I would be told by the people at church, you should meditate on that. Okay, but nobody ever told me how to meditate or what meditation is. So, I have learned meditation is where you're supposed to be connecting to the spiritual realm. Oh, well that makes more sense, but now how do you do it? Well, there are many kinds of meditations out there, guided meditations. Some people just play music, and some people just talk to you about positive things while you're listening to them. There are all kinds of meditations out there. But how do they really help us? I know for me, I get really relaxed physically, and that's a bonus for me. But what else happens? Honey?
I was listening to your stories.
Well, will you enlighten us on what really happens when we meditate?
I don't know if it really happens. Now.
Okay.
I don't want to sound like we know
then would it be
everything about meditation.
What someone could possibly experience when they meditate?
But before we get to that, you said that now you've learned that people meditate so they can connect with what?
The spiritual world.
I don't know if everyone meditates for that reason.
Okay.
So I want to clarify that, because I believe I've met individuals that say they meditate just to relax. They're not trying to connect to anything.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, some people say they meditate just so that they don't think about anything. It's like just going into a nothingness where they don't think about anything. It's just, they just quiet their mind.
That's awesome.
No, you haven't heard that?
No.
Oh, so no, meditation is not just for connecting with some spiritual,
world.
establishes some kind of spiritual connection.
Okay.
Before I learned about the teachings, I used to meditate, and I wasn't trying to connect with anything. I was just relaxing.
Huh.
And that's when I was in high school. There was something that my cousin introduced me to called transcendental meditation. He was experimenting with it.
What is that?
I don't remember now. All I remember is that, we were supposed to try to relax. See what I mean? And he had read the book on it. And he told us, just relax. And I fell asleep. So I must have been really relaxed. I remember that. And it wasn't about God or anything. So, just in case, I just want to make sure that people know that there's more. And I feel very certain that there are people out there that they meditate just to, like, for inner peace.
Okay.
Like how those, what do you call them? Those queens, what do you call them? Miss America, and then when you ask them what are they fighting for, and they say like,
are you trying to be funny?
And world peace? No, this is inner peace, right?
Inner peace. The only time I ever heard of meditation was always associated with religion or religious practices.
Oh, no. When I studied martial arts, we meditated.
Didn't know anything about martial arts?
But it was for us to just calm the mind. It had nothing to do with God or anything. I mean,
wow.
We didn't talk about God doing martial arts. We're talking about defending ourselves with Archangel Michael, mind you, by the way. Right. So meditation isn't necessarily tied to any type of spirituality at all.
Okay.
It's geared towards an inner peace of some kind.
Well, that never worked for me when I was younger, because as soon as I would sit still and try to just get quiet, and still my mind, that would like never happen. I would always have all these other thoughts. Oh, I should remember to do this. Oh, I need to do that. Like, I don't know what this meditation thing is supposed to be like, but I don't think it works. I think it's just some...
It goes back to what I said earlier, that no one really explained it to you, right?
No one did.
Even how to do it.
Mm-mm.
Because many people think it's really easy. And it sounds simple, but it sounds easy, but it's not that simple.
Right.
So, getting back to your question, for effective meditation, whether it's to quiet your mind, to relax your body, or you want to form that higher connection, doesn't matter which one it is, you have to literally quiet the mind, as we say. Because for the most part, when you're active, your mind is in control, right?
Right.
Your mind is involved with all the activities. You're thinking about different scenarios. And that's where the mind... Do you guys say scenarios or scenarios?
Just speak.
No,
I think we
which
say
one? Just
scenario.
answer the
I think we
question.
say scenario. I don't know. I think it's scenario.
So scenarios, right? And so then you're busy. That's why you said when you're younger, you'd be thinking about this and who knows what else, because you are allowing your mind to control the activity that you were thinking about. And the purpose of meditating is to teach the mind that it's not in control, that something else is in control and not the mind, because the mind gets distracted easily. It can be fooled easily. So you want to make sure that your higher self is in control. So despite the fact that people might choose to meditate for inner peace or for relaxation, all of us, it doesn't matter what reason we're doing it for, still have to connect with a higher self. And maybe people don't realize that. They just think, okay, I'm just relaxing. Well, the only way that can happen is if the higher self takes over and the mind is put to rest. Like, you just get quiet for now. Go in a corner, sort of thing. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So once you can do that, then of course, many things can happen, you know. I've heard stories about individuals who, a lot of healing takes place when you're meditating. Why does that happen? Because your mind is not the boss, to put it in a very dramatic fashion, right?
Okay.
Your genius is being released, as we call it. You know, genius within is being released, and that genius is what has created your body. Imagine you start from this very little thing, and all of a sudden you have a body, you have arms and legs. Where'd that come from? You know, it's the higher self that generates all that, right? There's something that has created that. And you can tap into that when your mind is quiet. That is when you're meditating, for many people. Other people can do it while they're wide awake, because they've reached that level, right? But for the most part, many individuals will have to go into a meditative state. So then what happens? Well, we've talked about the different levels of the mind. For more of a visual effect, we call it different levels of the mind. So we have the beta, right? Which is where all the activity takes place. When you're busy, like you're listening to me now, you're operating at the highest level, the beta level. So you couldn't be creative at this time because your mind is taking over. It's listening, it's generating pictures in your head as I'm talking. All those things are happening. You're probably thinking about, oh, what time will I leave here? All that, right? It's going through your head. Then you have what we call the alpha level. When you get there, the mind becomes less influential. Because at the alpha level, the mind is put aside. It's like you're quieting the mind, and now your higher self takes over. And people call it different things. You call it subconscious, right? And they have all these other names for it. But I'll use the term higher self, because that's what I'm used to. Or your mighty presence, right? Take it, I guess, more of a spiritual approach to it instead of a philosophical approach. So then that takes over when you start to get to the alpha level. And the deeper you go into the alpha level, then the stronger your connection.
Okay.
You can go to even deeper levels, but we won't go into those right now. Just let's stop at alpha. Well, when you get to alpha, because your connection has gotten strong or stronger, you have these different possibilities. You can be there, and you open yourself up now to solutions, to things you've been thinking about. So if you learn these techniques that other maybe companies or organizations are involved with, maybe they've told you, oh, go to the meditative state and you can problem solve. Well, that's true. You know, and we teach people to do that here, right? One Night Division as well. So you start to get ideas, solutions through dreams and other ways. So that's one thing that happens when you meditate. If you really start to stay at alpha, you start to get solutions to questions you have while you're awake, your everyday challenges that you have. And that can happen without you trying too hard. And those can come in the form of dreams. They can come just like a vision, just pop up in front of you without you trying. The big one, though, to me, that happens a lot that people don't realize when they meditate, we talk about how when someone goes to sleep, what happens?
They dream.
Okay, well, besides that, what normally happens to your soul when you go to sleep?
Oh, it travels.
Where?
Usually to trainings that it's supposed to get.
Right. And that normally happens within a specific time frame, right? From what the Ascended Masters told us, at night.
Right.
Well, when you meditate, and we always talk about, well, if you miss that, then the point behind, or the goal behind you traveling to different retreats for training is to prepare you for that day's karma that you'll be dealing with, correct? Whatever the challenges are. You come back and you're prepared, you remember your dream, because you see it as a dream, and you get to work. Now we have techniques here that we use that first thing in the morning, people apply that technique and then they remember those things. They think it's a dream, see? So some of them now will just realize, oh, I actually went to the retreat, and when this happens, I'm remembering what I was taught. Exactly, but we call it what? Word of the day.
Right.
All right, but it's not the word of the day. You actually went to the retreats, and this is how you're remembering what you were taught. And seeing your guides come and tell, this is what you were taught, here, this one word. Then the whole thing opens up. But you do that at night when you travel, the soul travels. Through meditation, the same thing can be accomplished. See, once you can stay at alpha for a decent time, you're actually doing the same thing. Your soul is going to travel while you're in a meditative state to those retreats, and you're actually receiving lessons. And people talk about, you might see yourself in a boat or who knows what, right? Or you find yourself walking through some grass and you're with people, and you come out of it, you say, oh wow, I had this really interesting experience. You actually went to a retreat. You were being trained. You were receiving guidance for when you returned. That's the beauty of meditation, that once you can quiet the mind, your spiritual team, your spirit guides can actually communicate with you. So you go into that state and they say, okay, come on, let us educate you a little bit before you go back. And because you're open to it, as in your connection is so much stronger with your higher self and with the spiritual realm, you can see it. Now, you're not used to it, so you think it's a dream. That's how you put it, or your mind puts it. Oh, I'm having a dream. It doesn't matter how you interpret it or how you look at it. The point is that you are being prepared by you being given certain knowledge or information to prepare you for when you come back into the beta state.
Okay.
That's how you'll say, okay. You don't have any
Well,
questions?
no, I don't have any questions. I'm listening. I'm taking it all in.
I'm done. I think that's
So that's what happens when we meditate then?
That's great. You know, you literally go and you're connecting with your spiritual team. Whether or not that was your goal is what I'd like everybody to understand. You could have been, you're just there and say, I just want to relax, and then you relax. But all of a sudden you find yourself somewhere. Right? And then you're having an experience. So, but all you're thinking about was just relaxing. You're not thinking about connecting with some spiritual figure. Or maybe you just want to quiet your mind. But the same thing happens because you've gotten to alpha. Do you follow what I'm saying? Do you get the point I'm trying to make?
Yes, that
Okay.
you're connecting and learning while you're in this meditative state.
Not just that, but it doesn't matter what your goal was when you went into that meditative state. The experiences normally wind up being the same.
Okay. So even if someone decides they want to meditate to promote healing of their body because of maybe an issue they have, they'll experience the same kind of thing because they're connecting with that spiritual team
Well, see,
to focus on that challenge?
that's a very good question, because there's a team that does healing for you, right?
Uh-huh.
So imagine that you go and you meditate on healing. It's very possible that your soul travels to the hall. There's actually a hall for healing in the spiritual realm. And many souls go there, and they don't have to be dead to go there. You can be alive. And then you go there, and then they work on you. When they're finished, you come back. But then for you, you're in a meditative state. And that's the best state you can be in, so that you're open to the healing work that's being done by the team. And it doesn't have to be your team. It's a team of healers that are in the spiritual realm. And many souls, they line up for that. People, it's like being in a hospital, right? You go, you're waiting in line, you get your turn, they take care of you, and then you're done. Then the next soul comes in line, and there'll be souls that are alive, and there's souls that have passed on. It doesn't matter. They're working on, and when I say passed, it's the ones that still believe that they're on Earth.
Okay.
So things appear to them very similar to the way things would be on Earth, where, oh, I'm still sick, even though they've passed on. And that's why they're there. They have to slowly get them to adjust to the fact that, oh, I'm actually not on Earth anymore. all that physical body is gone. But for us, we go there, and they know we're alive. How do you think they know that we're alive?
Because we probably appear differently?
No, well, because it's your soul that's traveling.
Okay.
So you wouldn't really appear differently, but the soul appears as light.
Well, if a soul appears as light and we're alive and they're not, maybe we would have less light because we're still attached to a physical body?
So you've forgotten this. Well, in every living soul, how do they appear? They're connected with what? A silver cord.
Oh, so they'll see your silver cord.
Exactly. As long as you're still
Yes,
alive,
you're right. I did forget about that silver cord.
is there, right? If you've passed on, the reason why you passed on is because the silver cord is cut, right? It's gone.
Right.
You're no longer connected with your higher self. It's gone. That's how they know that you're alive. So they see that cord. So, oh, one's alive, trying to fake it in here, but we know. So they just pretend like they're ignorant and let you in anyway. You get the healing you need, and then you leave. That's
just your interpretation?
Yeah, that's me making that up.
Okay, because I wouldn't want someone to say, oh, this is what he said.
Who said?
That you said, that this is what happens. They go and they can see our cord, and they're just like, oh, yeah, that was still alive.
They can see the cord, though.
No, but the way you described it.
No, but they probably do say that, but they don't say the part about how you're faking it, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
I don't want people walking around saying, well, this man said that this is something that they do. No, we don't know for sure.
Right, but they will see that you're alive, and so, of course, because the silver cord is there. And that's why when people do that, when you meditate, some people, they talk about leaving their body, so they do the meditation so they can leave their body kind of thing. And people talk about how some people lose their body, like...
Oh, like the astral projection, they call it?
But they can't find their body? That can't happen, really. All right? Because for that to happen, that cord has to be cut. If the cord is cut, you're dead. As long as you're connected with the cord, of course you'll find your body because the cord is still there. You see why that story doesn't make any sense?
Yes.
So there's some things that people say and they're not very logical, because if you understand how the spiritual realm works and how we're connected, there's no way that's possible. Again, unless that cord is cut, and when that is cut, you're dead. So you're trying to find your body. Why? Because you're confused about. I just shook the camera. Because you're confused about whether or not you're alive. Maybe that's what it is. But anyway, that's what happens when you meditate. You take that travel, your soul travels. And again, it doesn't matter if you think you're meditating just to relax, or if you're meditating just to quiet your mind, right? Or if you're meditating just for healing, or if you're meditating to establish a spiritual connection, it's the same experience, because once you get to that same space, alpha or lower, as far as frequency, brain frequency, then the experience literally takes you to a different dimension, which we term the spiritual realm.
Okay. Well, thanks for explaining that. See you guys next time. Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.